the ring, standing at 7 feet tall, weighing 430 pounds, The Big Show. And his opponent, at a combined weight of 430 pounds, the team of Joey Ryan and Jay Garland.
And for the first time in over a year, The Big Show is in action in a WWE ring. Welcome to Friday Night SmackDown, everybody. And coach, the situation is this. Big Show left World Wrestling Entertainment over a year ago because he wanted to pursue a career as a professional boxer. Problem was, nobody would take his fights. So ironically, Big Show now finds him in a matchup at WrestleMania against the welterweight champion Floyd Mayweather.
And after what happened a couple of weeks ago, the Big Show had his pride hurt. But coming up this week on Raw, a professional fighter will take on the Big Show. We'll see what the Big Show has for him.
Yeah, Big Show with a little exhibition, so to speak, for Floyd Mayweather, perhaps. But tonight, it's Big Show in his first action in over a year. A 2-on-1 handicap matchup, and I feel sorry for Garland and Ryans.
You know, I was at that WrestleMania press conference this past week at the Staples Center, and really, it was an electric atmosphere. And the Big Show showing everybody, including Floyd Mayweather Jr., that he is coming to WrestleMania to fight. Floyd will do the same.
For Floyd Mayweather Jr., coach, it is all about risk versus reward. Why would Floyd Mayweather risk his boxing career, hundreds of millions of dollars, to get into the ring with this man, watching what this man, the Big Show, is doing to these two individuals?
Well, I think it's all about the fact that he loves being an entertainer on the biggest stage, and WrestleMania is the biggest stage.
And it's interesting, I talked to a lot of WWE superstars at this press conference, and look at Big Show with a choke slam. Garland planted by the 7-foot, 535-pounder.
Welcome once again to another episode of Two Stone Dude Podcast. This is your co-host, Ryan Castle, along with...
Rob the Notch.
Yeah! And also, let's not forget our new techie, Mondo Humunculero.
Hola, brothers and sisters. Mondo's our Yoda.
Yes, Mondo is our Yoda. We are going to, and tonight we got a special treat for you guys today. Tonight in the studio, in what I like to call the barbecue pit, we got the feature presentation, Jay Garland. Jay, how are you today, sir?
I'm feeling fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming back on. We had such a good response from the last episode you were on. I had to have you back on. We had fans asking questions after you left and whatnot. It was amazing. Like people that remembered you from IZW, were emailing us and whatnot. And I was like, I don't know, ask him on Facebook. So hopefully you might have got an old fan base came back to you or something. But it was quite remarkable how many people liked the episode that we had, especially the people that even the one we put on camera and we put on YouTube. Like that came off with a bunch of different views too. I was pretty impressed.
Who that?
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Hey, and there's a good percentage of actually not a good percentage. It's like we have 16% female demographic, and females were asking about you. So that's where that came from. So,
there we go.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So there you go, dude. All right, man. I'm going to start off with the series of questions, and it's going to go to Rob, and it's going to go to Mondo, okay? We're just going to fire them off at you. You answer them the best of your ability. We're all good and lit up right now, and you're the only one sober here. So do your best to try to keep. We'll try our to, like, you know what I'm trying to get at. Okay, all right.
Take it easy on me.
Oh, I want to talk about your experience real quick before I get into questions. So Jay had some edibles for the first time. And it did not go well for him. So what I want to do is I want to use his story as a warning to people who think they can dive right into edibles and don't realize how much they're taking, and like they don't want to wait. Jay even waited, and he still got fucked up.
Can we rub it on our noses first before we inhale that?
I don't know. Jay, tell us the story from start to finish.
All right. So first and foremost, let's clarify. It's not that it didn't go well for me, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right, so let me dive on in here. I got some edibles. They were some little sour gummies. They were it was like a brand called Mind Right or something like that.
Okay.
And so yeah, I'd ask some questions about from some other friends that I know dabble and whatnot. And the guy I got them from, I won't mention his name. He's also a former wrestler. He said, yeah, just take one and see how it goes. All right, whatever. So I took one. Hour later, nothing. Everything's fine. Now, this is where I did mess up because of the fact that I saw a meme where it says, the guy took the edibles and he's like, hey, this ain't nothing. And then it said like a few hours later, he was like tripping balls and whatnot. That should have been my cue to be like, all right,
yeah,
don't need any more.
Well, the doctor did say just take one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I told some people about it. I texted you about it. Texted some other friends.
Tell them what I told you, Jay. Tell them what I told you though.
I don't even remember what you told me.
Oh no, we said okay. I'll tell you what I said. I told him. He asked me how long this was going to last.
Wait.
Okay. We're not to that. Not that. Okay. All right. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I won't deprive people of that part.
All right. So my other friend was like, "Yeah, just take like 2 more." Okay. So I took 2 more. Hour later, still nothing. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Pac-Man these guys. So I ate the rest of them. I ate the remaining 7. They were all 10 milligrams each.
Remaining 7.
And literally, no joke.
That's a lucky number.
Right. I went and I sat down on my bed. Now, mind you, never mind. I'm not gonna mention that part for the sake of my personal life. But I went and I sat on my bed, and literally, it was instant, man. Everything just hit me at once. And I was like, holy shit. I had a podcast on in my headphones, a Joe Rogan podcast, and the guest, he had this really raspy voice. He was talking about how he disrobed like 200 Klansmen as a black man,
Oh, cool. The guy from Black Klansman, the actual person?
No, I don't think
the guy the story was based on?
No.
Okay.
He didn't say he was. Did he say he's the wrong person? You probably know what I'm talking about. He had a really raspy voice. Man, worse than Louis Armstrong, man. It was like
I have a raspy voice.
Yeah. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it was like it was like his voice was literally in my head, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, I'm looking at my computer screen, and the fucking letters and numbers got like super big, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Man, I've been that high before. Yeah,
I'm like, I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping,
and
and then
Susie downstairs.
I probably shouldn't have stood up.
You were tripping.
Oh,
I went to stand up, and that's when like my heart starts racing really fast, and then I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I call this guy, and I'm like, "Hey man, I just took these edibles, man, and like I'm starting to trip balls, and it wasn't bad until he said, "Oh yeah, that's cool. You should be high till about 9:30."
Damn.
And it's like 1:30 in the afternoon, and instantly I'm thinking, "Oh shit, I got wrestling training tonight." So now I'm like really starting to panic, and then my heart rate is like increasing, and I'm like, "Oh fuck." And I'm like thinking to myself, man, am I gonna have to call 911 or something? Like it was getting kind of bad. So then I was like, you know what? I don't know. Was it you? Somebody told me to just sit down, just put on like some Netflix and just chill.
Yeah, I told you to watch Netflix and eat something.
Yeah. So actually, what I did was I threw on some R&B music, and then it's like I started to calm down and I was just riding the wave, man. Like I feel my heartbeat like sinking with the music and stuff. And it looked like, it felt like I was riding a motorcycle through the clouds or some shit.
Nice.
It was weird. And then next thing you know, I'm like in the bottom of a fish tank, man. I swear I was in the bottom of a fish tank.
What?
I could see like the ripples from the bottom.
What?
Yeah. My wife.
What the hell were you watching?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's fucking awesome.
I was tripping balls, though.
Yeah.
My wife was not happy, man.
That is what you call tripping balls.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe you were watching Avatar or
Right. So
man.
Water and the sound.
Yeah,
man. It was
Sounds like that Little Dicky song, Too High. That's what it sounds like, man. You ever heard that song? I'm going to have to put it on his episode so people can listen to it.
Yeah.
Just a tribute to Jay. Fucking song called Too High.
Oh man.
Well, what about
All right,
this?
so and you went to Pete's house that night, right?
Yeah, the wife told me, she said, you gotta go. So she called him up and was like, come get your friend. And he comes to get me, and I'm like, dude, I was pretty fucked up for like the next day and part of the next day.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I don't do shit like that, man. I'll have some little fruity ass drinks from time to time, maybe a beer here and there, but I don't. Yeah, that was.
So is that going to
holy
deter
stuff.
you from ever doing that again?
No, not. I mean, see, here's the deal. It's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried it. I did like it after I fucking calmed my nerves.
But you don't need to do it anymore.
But yeah, it's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying?
The list, like, yeah, I've been there, done that. I'm good.
Right. Some people like getting their asshole licked. That's not my thing. You know, like.
Oh, man, see, dropping my phone.
Around the world.
Shit.
Around the world. That's what it's
Right.
called.
Oh my
Around
God.
the world.
And sprinkles.
I can't believe you said that.
The girl
That's
says,
awesome.
Girl says, I'm going around the world, and she's got the cinnamon gum in her mouth. Just a little heat for the beat.
Oh my God.
All right.
I have to take a drink before I talk.
Did you just grow a mustache?
There it is.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Like, what day is it?
I haven't had this
Tuesday?
much fun to
That's
podcast in a while.
That was really good. That, I've seen some people really trip out on
Yeah,
edibles. I mean, trip
Yeah.
out big because it's a microdose thing.
Mm.
right.
You've got to wait, and then you find out what your level is. Like you start 10 milligrams, you know, that it's like, since for me, 10 milligram gummy, strong. I'm asleep.
Wow, just
I
one?
go to just one, but I use it for it's a sedative for me. I go to sleep. I
Right,
indica, 10 milligram, go to bed, wake up the next morning. Now, if I do it like this time of night, I wake up in the morning, I'm still high.
Right.
I got to drink a lot of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. I'm going to get to my questions. Give me your prediction. Excuse me. Give me your prediction about the upcoming election. Who do you think's going to take it, and is it going to be close, or is it going to be a landslide?
Man, I don't know. I feel like with everything going on with there's potential for voter fraud and you name it. There's so much drama going on right now. In my honest opinion, I feel like there's a strong chance that Biden may be leading, and then somehow Trump's gonna magically win.
You know what I talked about in the last episode. I think politicians and the powers that be kind of have us like they're bitches right now. And what I mean by they're bitches is that what's going on is like a well played out soap opera.
Right.
Who watches soap operas? Bitches.
Yeah.
And we're all acting like a bunch of bitches right now.
Right.
No, I'm joking. It's kind of true, but not really.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So you think
joking or not?
You think Biden's going to take it, or you think Trump's going to take it?
I think there's a strong possibility that Trump's going to be reelected.
I said the same thing. And I think it's because I believe it's going to be because of the Electoral College.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to get the popular vote. I think he
No.
would almost get the popular vote. I think it would be really close compared to the popular vote.
Oh, by 5.
But the Electoral College is going to overturn it and have Biden, lose. I don't know. That's just my thing. And you think the same thing. So, it's a shitty situation, isn't it?
It definitely is. And we'll probably touch on it in a bit, but it's just, we've seen what he could do for the last 4 years.
Right.
And I feel like he's kind of set us back, man. There's so much racial tension and animosity right now.
Right.
And that shit wasn't like that before.
No.
Now, I'm not saying that he made people racist, because we know that's not true. This
No,
shit
he
is
just brought it out.
passed down, but he
brought
brought
it
it
out.
out, man.
Yeah,
He
he
opened
said
the
that yesterday.
floodgates. He's like, come on in, yo.
Yeah, he's like, oh, look, you can be jerk offs now. Go
Right.
ahead.
He allowed the bullshit.
Yeehaw, wave your fucking flag. Yeah, fucking, god damn it, man.
Right.
God bless him. You know what? It's ridiculous. It's just goddamn ridiculous what's going on. I got to put out the third party. I got to pump the third party right now. I have to.
You know, the Libertarian Party, I don't even want to talk about it. It's
Yeah,
the
you're
biggest
not-
fucking joke there is.
Yeah,
It's a joke.
It's
And
an option.
If you read Reason magazine, you can see why not.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm a radical leftist.
Right.
I'm not. I'm a left of center Democrat.
Right.
I'm a member of the Socialist Workers Party.
Right.
And the Democratic Socialists of America.
Mm.
I'm a social. I've been a socialist since I was 18 years old.
Right. And
I'm going to tell you something. The undercurrent of these white supremacists and these right wing terrorists, they've been there since I was a kid. And what happened was, one of the reasons I liked Obama, because I knew that would bring them out.
Mm.
So we could possibly deconstruct them and their ideology.
Mm.
It's not about, if you shoot them, the more of them are going to pop up. You don't do that. You deconstruct their ideology.
Right.
You know, and when that happens, they might be nice guys.
Yeah, who knows?
That's like, I'm going to shut up after this. There was a Black Lives Matter protest with one of the reverends, one of the cool dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he gets up and he says, look, you guys, here's what we got in common. He got all these guys up there, all these Trump guys and, you know, almost Boogaloo boys and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the whole thing, they were all buddies. They were hanging out. They're shaking hands. They're bumping elbow. It was amazing. Now, I'm a guy that says that can't happen. Wrong.
How much coverage did that get? Probably zero.
Very slight. Very slight.
That's ridiculous that didn't get as much. That should have gotten a lot more
that
coverage.
Should have been front page, right?
Absolutely.
Front page.
That would have been. I would have put that on the front page of every newspaper in the fucking country.
It's just like,
Fuck.
how did an African American man get into the Ku Klux Klan?
Right.
Yeah.
He got in, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
Let's talk.
That's not on me.
Let's talk racism, Jay. How do you see it in its essence today? Like, it's become so prevalent in so many groups' ideologies, and they duck and cover, you know, and then they come back up when it's convenient.
Right.
You know what I mean? and I don't know. It's bullshit and it's cowardice. That's how I see it.
Right.
No, but you're on your end, being an African American. I mean, how do you look at it from your end?
I mean, it's definitely gotten progressively worse over the years, and from that, I mean, I'm not saying like it's as violent as it was back in the day,
right.
Because hey, you walk down the street nearly anywhere, or you look at someone the wrong way, you might be hanging from a tree or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I mean, my first run-in with racism, I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I recently posted this on my Facebook page where I had moved to Omaha with my aunt, and while I was down there, I started attending school. I went to a school called Spring Lake, and I walk in, 4th grade, first day of school. Everything's going okay. Now, mind you, back home here in Phoenix, all of my friends were everything, black, white, Hispanic, everything.
Right.
You know, I just had a group of
Pretty
friends.
good
And
melting pot
I'm
around
still friends with all of those guys. Like all these years later, they're still my friends.
Right.
You know, but I go and I sit down for lunch. I'm at a table, and I'm the only black face at this table. And these kids told me, they said, "You can't sit there."
Whoa. And
I'm like, well, why not? He said, "'Cause we don't like blacks."
Really?
And I'm like, huh? Like, I was just thrown off by it. And one little girl said, my daddy says that you're a nigger.
Wow.
Yeah. And they told me, they said, you better leave or we're going to jump on you at recess or whatever they said to me at that particular time.
Wow.
And I told them, I said, if y'all try to put your hands on me, I'm going to bring a knife to school and kill every last one of you. And after that, it was crickets. They didn't say anything. Went on about my day.
There you go.
I got home, though. And as soon as I walked through the door, my aunt started wearing my ass out with the belt. She started whooping me. Man, I didn't even know what I was getting whooped for.
Wow.
Yeah.
How were you?
Apparently, she got a call. And a lot of the parents were in the office outraged at the fact that this little black boy threatened to kill their kids. One parent said that I threatened to beat her daughter into a bloody pulp.
Wow.
I'm 8
What
years
the
old,
fuck,
9
man?
years old. I never even heard that
How
phrase before.
My daughter's a
So fucked up.
Right. You know. So when when my aunt let me tell her the story of what happened, then she felt bad. So she had to make a call back to the school and tell the school what really went down. But the next day I go to school and the teacher's standing at my locker and she's searching my backpack and patted my pockets to make sure I didn't have anything on me. Yeah. So it was just, that was my first run-in with racism. I couldn't believe it. Like, dude, I'd never seen this before. I wasn't told. I wasn't prepared for it. So
neighborhood watch.
Leave it to Rob. Dude. Leave it to motherfucking
But
Rob.
it's serious. They actually
Do
would
that
sit in
shit.
those little groups and have these conversations.
Right.
We can't tolerate this in our neighborhood and in our school district.
Dude, I know. I was a bad
What
kid in my
the
neighborhood.
hell?
I understand, dude.
I saw.
Yeah.
I flipped the house next door. Okay, and one of the things that we found in the house was the very first deed and title, and it said, "No people like this, like that, like this, like that can live here."
Really?
Oh yes. And it was Native Americans, it was Mexican Americans, it was African Americans, it was all kinds of and it was like, this is the white.
Yeah.
This is the white.
Maybe a Korean. They keep the grass nice.
1949.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, because I literally, I'm glad you touched on that. I was just having a conversation with some friends earlier, and if you think about how society has been over the years, and if you listen to the recent debates, both Trump and Pence, I heard them both say in their debate speeches that, hey, we want to get along with our African American neighbors. Okay, they mentioned black people as our African American neighbors.
Right.
If you notice, there's African American, there's Mexican American or Latino American, there's Native American,
Right.
but white people are Americans. I don't hear people being referred to as white American or even Caucasian American.
Right.
They're Americans.
Right.
So when did that happen? I mean,
And why can't we all just be fucking Americans?
Right.
Everybody.
I was born here.
This is fucking crazy.
Everybody's an American.
We're just ordinary people.
Hey, let me
We
explain.
don't know which
I have to
way
explain.
go.
We have a broad. I have to explain something because we have a very broad audience. We have an audience in at least last time I counted.
There's some broads in the audience.
Well, no, we have a broad audience of 10 different. There's at least 10 different countries that listen to us.
Yeah.
So number one,
I'm enjoying my iPhone.
Thank you so much, and we're very, very proud. We're very, very grateful, and we're very, very proud that you take the time out of your day to listen to this fucking crazy last little fucking podcast of ours. We appreciate that, number one. Number two,
thank you.
When it comes to being Americans, we're very proud to be Americans. We're proud people. So in situations like this kind of cause rifts between Americans, it's a serious situation in our country. It's a really bad situation in our country. So if the same's not going on in yours, that's what's going on in ours right now. And we're trying to do our best. We're doing our part right now, talking to you to help get the message out there to make things just a little bit better. Basically, we had a guy on here called Wade Garrett. He said the basic message, the best message in the world is don't be an asshole. Right. If you guys don't know what that means, it's just don't be a jerk. Don't be mean to people. Be nice. Give unto others. Treat people as you want to be treated. And, easy shit. Yeah. Don't fuck with people, and people won't fuck with you. Exactly. It's a basic concept.
Don't step on your neighbor's white shoes. We're good.
Seriously. So, Jay, I want to get into a subject I know Amanda's going to like a lot, and that's pro wrestling. You're one of my favorite pro wrestlers. Me and you had an outstanding match, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my life, just because of how fluid it was.
I lost.
I did lose. I lost.
Don't forget, we teamed up too.
Yes, we have been tag team before as well. Yes. So during your career, I'm sure you faced challenges being not only new to an area, but being a rookie, and then after you've been in wrestling for a while, trying to stay relevant. How did you overcome being a rookie to having to stay relevant?
Oh, that's a tough one.
We got it. We got Cleveland. We got Cleveland. Dude, you know what? Dude, give the whole answer in Cleveland. See if you can do it. See if you can do it. I dare you. No. I'm fucking at it. No. You're not, dude. Don't worry about it. I want to fuck with you, dude. That would be funny as shit if you did, though.
So, I mean, the biggest thing from the early years, man, was just having to be humbled. I didn't realize, like, how bad I sucked early on. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody thinks
thinks they're the shit.
Yeah, they think they're the shit when they come out, man. I had and this is funny. I had when I started with Dory Funk out in Ocala, Florida, my first week of training, I had literally 4 training sessions, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. Come Thursday, they threw me on the show in my debut.
Damn.
And in 3 different matches, I had a singles match, I had a battle royal match, and a 6-man hardcore match. And man, I thought those matches were fire. And my plan was I was going to get a job at America West Arena doing security or something. I figured I'd give WWE my tape that I spent $250 to get Marty Funk to send me a copy of the tape. $250 for a copy of a tape. But it's like, dude, these are my first wrestling matches. I'm going to just take this one up the ass and send her the money,
Right.
But yeah. And, I was so proud of that tape, showed it to all my friends and family, thought it was, man, the best thing since sliced bread. And then fast forward, after, humbling myself and actually getting more training instead of going I don't want to throw these guys under the bus, but I'll do it anyway.
route?
Yeah, I don't want to go the Tucson guy route where it's like, hey, I have a little bit of wrestling experience. I'm a pro wrestler. It doesn't work like that, man.
Right.
I started training under the tutelage of the Navajo Warrior, Triple X Lawrence Tyler, and Big Jack Bull with IZW. And I was amazed at how much I learned with them over the course of 4 weeks versus the course of 4 weeks at Dory Funk's. Like, I learned more in 1 week here than I did over there for 4 weeks, which...
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even my other matches that I had there, following those matches that they put me on, I had one out here, but then I went back to Florida. They threw me in there with the Rock and Roll Express.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know what I'm saying? You got this legendary tag team wrestling this Shandy Green kid from Phoenix. Like, I mean, it was fun, and you
got to be in the ring with the Rock and Roll Express, bro.
They're like
awesome.
Some of the terminology they were using at the time, I didn't even get because I was so brand new still, So it's I had to humble myself and become a student of the game, and then from there it was like the wheels started turning. I always tell the guys that I'm training currently, I would come through that curtain back in the IZW days, and Navajo Warrior would be sitting there, and he's like, he's my brother. I was the drizzling shits. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm thinking I'm killing it out there, but I start listening to what he's saying and paying attention and studying footage, and before you know it, that thumbs up went to here, and then to here, and then, it gradually went to a thumbs up, and it's like, hey, that was spot on. That's exactly what I needed you to do out there.
Nice.
And I just wish more guys would take that approach.
Right.
You have to humble yourself. You have to be told that you suck. Nobody cares if you got a nice backflip off the top ropes if the match fucking sucks, man. Right. So as far as staying relevant, it's like you see a lot of guys over the years coming through the doors, and everybody wants to come in and be the guy, but it's like you can do all the stuff that you want to do, the flips and the super kicks and all that crap, but at the end of the day, I'm going old school.
You had to bring up the Young Bucks.
I'm just gonna, huh?
You had to bring up the Young Bucks.
I didn't bring them up. You did. I go old school. The basic foundation of wrestling, taking people on a roller coaster ride, and it's like there's a reason why my match is still getting the same reactions, if not more, than what your little super kicks and flips are doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, of course, there's heart put into it as well. Yeah, it's not just strategy. There's heart into it.
Right.
I sweat these moves.
Oh yeah,
dude. It's Let me pull a hit off this. Mondo, I know you had some questions. Why don't you fire them off right now?
Okay.
Talk to Jay about wrestling.
Okay.
What do you want to know about it?
Yeah. Okay. So, are you still wrestling in the circuit?
No, I have officially hung up my boots as of it was January of 2019. Around that time, I was actually running some wrestling shows as well. So I had a stint as a promoter, and I went ahead and just called everything quits the day of my final show, which was the day of the Royal Rumble when they came to Phoenix. We did like a little tailgate type show, like a little pregame before you go to the Royal Rumble. Come over here with us. We were downtown at the Deuce. Had about
Deuce.
Yeah, had about 300 plus people there. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my final match and final show as a promoter as well. So no.
What made you decide to leave the game?
Just tired of the egos and the attitudes and stuff, man. Like,
there's a lot of it here for no fucking reason.
For no reason at all.
Yeah,
Actually,
because people barely get picked up from Arizona. Yeah. We're not looked at as people don't pull wrestlers from Arizona.
But see, that's the thing. Wow. We could be that.
Yeah,
man.
We absolutely could.
We could be a hotbed. There's enough of these. I got married. I kind of slowed down from the traveling a little bit.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's probably a natural thing.
Right. And then my wife and I, we have 3 more as well.
Oh, okay. So, you had the time to make some more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
I have 4 kids.
Oh.
Keep going. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the restroom.
Now I'm gonna take a commercial.
We're live on
I gotta pee. Keep it going. I gotta pee.
Keep it going. And shit break.
Tell them about the kids.
Tell them about the kids. Tell them about the kids. Oh yes, you work with children.
Right.
Yeah. So how does the age range again?
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions.
Like how young can you be? Like so allowed to put someone in a turtleneck? Not turtleneck. What's it called?
A full Nelson?
Yeah, full Nelson. Thank you. Yes, I am high. I know it's not an excuse. I'm having medication.
So you said you have 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
How many mothers?
2.
2 mothers, 4 children.
That's normal.
No, there's no judgment.
I know it's not a good thing.
That's just what the deal is.
Right.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, so the age. How young can you start the program?
For wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the guys I see with the place that I'm training right now, I don't run any of the office. I'm literally just one of the trainers there. I'm the Tuesday and Thursday guy.
Okay.
But the youngest guy that we have there, he's 14.
14.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I know it's not that young.
That's at least in my class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know about any other ones that might be younger than him. So.
Any potential you see? Anyone's got a chance that you probably want to like personally mentor?
Yeah, there's quite a few people actually that are, coming along really well with the training. And, the problem that we're experiencing or that I've experienced, I've been doing the training since January, is just the consistency. Times are tough right now. People don't have money to pay their tuition. So
right.
They back out for a few months, and then it's kind of like they got to start almost all the way over,
Right.
Time off is like one of those things that can do some damage on people when it comes to getting in ring shape, you know.
Mentally,
you have to be consistent with it, yeah.
And I didn't wrestle for 2 months solid, and it hurt when I got back in the ring.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Taking a
Everything
bump after not doing it for 2 months hurt really bad.
You had a mind check, huh? Like,
yeah, big time. Like I had a headache for the rest of the match. Dude.
I remember riding the bike.
All right,
man, everything is real.
Jay, I want to thank you for being with us. I appreciate the time and effort you put into this podcast. It was awesome. You guys came up with some awesome questions too, so thank you guys for joining in on this. I appreciate it. Jay, we'll have you back on the show. We're definitely going to want your opinion on some things because you validate a lot of good points that we've been looking for. So it works out really well for us. Thank you once again, and we will see you soon, sir.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. And term limits ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to wind up with a brand new bunch of selfish, ignorant Americans. So maybe it's not the politicians who suck. Maybe something else sucks around here. Like the public. Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody. The public sucks. Fuck hope. Fuck hope. Because if it's really just the fault of these politicians, then where are all the other bright people of conscience? Where are all the bright, honest, intelligent Americans ready to step in and save the nation and lead the way? We don't have people like that in this country. Everybody's at the mall, scratching his ass, picking his nose, taking his credit card out of his fanny pack and buying a pair of sneakers with lights in them. So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote, and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who, in fact, did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year, you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much.